We are live on the Metal Voice and back once again. Chris Holmes, solo artist extraordinaire, I should say. Sorry, solo artist extraordinaire.
Peace. Yeah.
Some good news there, Chris. A lot of good news. You got a Scandinavian tour. You got a UK tour. You're playing the Wings of Angels festival. And let me just pull this all up for you first. Hold on. Let's just take a look at these dates. Glad to have you back, by the way. You look very healthy.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm gonna tell everybody the dates. Scandinavian tour that starts on August 23rd. So a few dates in Sweden and more dates in Norway. So everybody from Sweden and Norway, go check out Chris. I put all the dates in the video description of this video that we're doing. After that, in November 7th, you're going on a UK tour. You're playing London Cart and Horses. You know where London Cart and Horses is?
Do I?
Yeah. Have you ever been there?
It's in London.
No. Do you know the significance of London Cart and Horses?
No.
It's the birthplace of Iron Maiden.
Oh, they played there.
That was their original bar that they were sort of residents and they were playing. That's where they started off.
Oh, okay. All right.
And there's all kinds of Iron Maiden memorabilia around, right. And it says the birthplace of Iron Maiden. So it's a big place. It's a cool place. Cool. Then you're going to Wales, Edinburgh, if I pronounce it right. And then November 23rd, the Wings of Angels Festival, you're headlining in Swindon, UK, England. This is the Steve Grimmett Tribute Festival.
Yeah. You know, it's weird. It's weird. It's Steve, 2 years ago, was talking to me, called me, blah, blah, because we met at this festival, became pretty good friends. And he called me, wanted me to play on some song, and I was talking to him how I would record it and send it to him. And then the next day, he was dead. Weird. Yeah. Within 12 hours of that, and he sounded fine. It was weird. Nice guy. There's
a great guy. I was friends with Steve, and you know what? I think this is a great way to remember Steve.
Yeah. I think we were supposed to play last year, but with the COVID or something, who knows?
Anyway. I think you're right. It was just too quick after COVID to sort of organize everything, so they had to postpone it, which is
right.
Which is great. You're also doing the Planet Rock Festival November 30th. So that's a festival as well in London somewhere, I believe. I'm not
Planet
sure.
Rock.
Planet Rock. Yeah. It's a festival. Then you're doing the Monsters of Rock in 2025 of March.
Yeah.
Right? You're going on the boat. On the boat.
And
then we have a big question mark there. I know Kathy was talking about Canada and US tour potentially. Yeah. I don't want to say it's for sure.
Yeah. Mostly on the West. She's going to try to book some shows on the East Coast and in Canada and see how it works. I don't know how many, maybe 10, in between 8 and 10 in Canada, and then in the America, and then see how it works, and then book a bigger one for the year after. Because I haven't been there in 10 years. Well, I've been there. I was there last year. After I played on the boat, I went home. But I was in America, but I didn't play. But this time I'm going to play. It's been a long time since I've played. We'll see how people, if they like it or not.
You send me a clip of Frank Zappa talking about how he plays his guitar. Tell me about that.
When I saw that clip, I just put it up. It came up, and I saw that what he says, the way that he approaches the guitar. I went, whoa, that's exactly the way I do. I've never heard anybody explain it how he did it, but he explained about playing lead guitar, and that's how I play lead guitar. That's how I approach it, the same way as he does. It blew my mind when he said it. I went, whoa. I go, that guy, he thinks, I know he's passed now, but I go, that's exactly how I do. You couldn't say it any closer than the way that I approach the actual plan, And
so let's tell everybody what he said. Maybe you want to tell everybody, summarize what he said.
You'd
you
have to
remember.
play. You'd have to play it. I haven't seen it for a while. I saw.
Well, I'll tell
Sarah.
you. I'll tell you. I just saw it. I just saw it, so I could tell
Yeah.
you. He says that when he records a solo and then he plays the same solo live, he just goes with what he feels.
Right.
Right. He just goes with what he feels because in the moment, that's how he feels. He plays.
He doesn't play the same thing.
No.
But he plays the structure. But he plays what he feels. Yeah, that's what I've always done all my life. My life. I used to get in a lot of trouble. I used to go out and do a solo and could play a completely different one than the song, and I'd get screamed at for it all the time. And then finally, once I was getting docked money for doing it, you got to play close to the song. I started playing close to the song, and once I did that, it kind of life was boring to me. It's doing shows. It was just like after it was like walking down the street. It's boring. Same thing. So I like this. How do you feel from your heart?
And that's what I was going to get at. Like you feel like a robot if you keep doing the same thing every night, right? Repeating the same thing. You want
Hendrix never played the same way once. The good guys never do. The ones that play from their heart. That play from a feel. Yeah. If let's say you go out on stage and one night and you don't feel good, you ain't gonna play good. It's just the way I've always been. It's just the way I play. When I saw that, I was like, "Whoa, Sarah, you gotta save this. Can you save this?" I came and had her look for it, and then I told her, I go, next time I'm on Jimmy's show, I want him to play that like at a break for people.
Okay.
That's the way
I'm going to put the link to it in the video. Okay, I'll put the link to it in the video so people understand. It's a short little clip.
Right, and then when I go to Scandinavia, Sarah already showed me that one of the shows is sold out. These shows I'm doing are completely different. I haven't done this for years. What I've been doing the last week, and I was just downstairs, so I don't have the song list. But I'm playing. I'm not singing this shows. I'm playing on the normal side that I play at. I got a guy that called Sleazy. He's taking the Randy side, doing exactly what Randy did. And our bass player is in the middle singing, and we're doing exactly the London Lyceum songs, except School Days and The Flame. And I took those out. I put in the Headless Children, Wild Child, and 9-5 Nasty, and I Don't Need No Doctor. I put in with the show, and I'm going to play exactly what I did at the Lyceum 40 years ago. Okay,
and that's what the banner is, or the moniker is. 40 years of W.A.S.P. Is that what it is? Is it complete?
Well, it's 40 years of the first tour. Like kind of like what Blackie's doing. Blackie's doing the first record. I'm not. I'm doing the Lyceum show. Without all the torture and the blood and stuff, our bass player, he won't do that. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. But we're gonna do the songs like that. It's been 40 years. I'm not gonna play. I don't know. I can't say I'm not gonna play without the same intensity. Maybe I might. I don't know. I've been going through all the songs, and just making sure that I know the old parts. Plus, I have the other guitar players playing all Randy's parts that Randy played, like in Sleeping in the Fire, whatever. So, and one other song we put is also Blind in Texas, which is not the Lyceum, but I put that in there too, But yeah, it's gonna be cool. Yeah, I've been going to this, I playing the songs an hour a day, going through them, whatever. Yeah.
We also have people texting and chatting.
What are they texting?
And there, one guy saying, Seagull Rock Squark is saying, Eddie had his style, Chris has his style. Meaning that Eddie Van Halen had his tone and you have your tone and style. So.
Yeah, Ed was the best. He was phenomenal, man. It's sad he's gone. It makes me thinking about But anyway, it's really funny. I was talking to my old singer the other day, and he gave me Terry Kilgore's number, my old guitar teacher.
Okay, yes.
I've known since I was 15, 14. I called him up. Terry is a good. If you listen to Terry Kilgore, you'll go, wow, man, it sounds like Van Halen. Van Halen, like, I'm not saying stole anything from him, just the ideas. They were young kids growing up, and of course you're gonna take ideas from other people. Everybody influences each other. So I'm not saying stealing it,
No.
And Terry was the guy that I introduced to Harvey Mandel.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next lesson, Terry was tapping, finger tapping. And then I think the next two Van Halen shows, or next Van Halen show, Ed was doing it. I could swear that's where the tapping came from. But I said it was funny talking with Terry. He's just 40 something years, 45 years. I go, can you believe, for Terry, I'm still going after that? You're still here. We started laughing. It's great, man.
That's cool.
It was great. Cool. But these shows coming up will be something I've never done, and it's going to be. I'm only doing them in Scandinavia.
Okay.
When I go back to London, I'm going to be doing the Mean Man stuff with the Mean Man band guys. The guys that I played, Ollie and Lex, they're English guys. The guys I'm playing with next week, or they're French.
Mm-hmm.
They speak French, and whatever, they're French guys.
Okay. And because you are doing the Wings of Angels festival. Is that going to be like a mix between W.A.S.P and solo material?
That'll be the Mean Man band.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be the Mean Man. There won't be the all W.A.S.P. The Lyceum. Okay. I'll call it the Lyceum band.
Okay. So in other words, the Sweden and Norwegian shows is going to be all W.A.S.P songs.
All W.A.S.P.
Okay.
All W.A.S.P. Except the last song, Rockin' in the Free World.
Oh, great song.
I end with that every time. Okay. But it's going to be all W.A.S.P. The Lyceum. All the Lyceum show.
Okay. And just so everybody knows, it's the 40th anniversary of the debut W.A.S.P album that was released, I don't know, in a few weeks from now, right? It was in 1984. Yeah, something like
October.
That. Around there. Maybe even August, September. I'm not sure around there.
I couldn't tell you.
If somebody could look up the date, please tell us. Either between August and October, but it's the 40-year anniversary of the debut album. So I'll ask you a W.A.S.P question. How do you feel about Blackie going out and doing the whole debut album as a celebration of the 40 years of W.A.S.P as well? Like, how do you feel about him? He's doing in order of the songs on the album.
Yeah. He's
going out and playing the whole album. How do you feel about that?
More power to him if he can. I mean, it's you got to understand, the singing on there is not nice and pretty, and he's screaming the whole time.
Yeah.
And screaming over every song, the whole length of except for Sleeping in the Fire, he sang, but everything else is just screaming. I even told him that after the album, I go, now you're gonna have problems singing this, that's why we lengthen certain parts of the song. Hey, more power to him if he can do that. And that's what the people want to hear or see or whatever. More power to him.
And it keeps the music alive, right? He goes around, you go around, and it just builds that much more excitement for the music, right? You created with him,
Yeah. You can say that. I would like to note one thing to people watching this, whatever. I'm not out to outdo W.A.S.P. I don't really care to outdo him. Oh, I got more people at this show. I'm not into that shit. I don't give a shit. I just like to play the stuff that I wrote that came out of my heart that the people like to hear, So, that's what I like to do. I'm not, it's in W.A.S.P, when we used to play every tour, it's, how can we sell more than the last? Keep doing stuff. It turns into one big snowball, and it's not music at that point,
Yeah.
It's just like Frank Zappa said.
Yes.
That's exactly the way I play guitar, man.
And one thing about you, I mean, there's been a lot of this backing tracks with W.A.S.P, but it's all live. I mean, I've seen you live. It's all completely live. It's Chris Holmes live.
Yeah.
You're not going to get any more liver than this.
No, and I'll never use tapes. I would rather not sound as good or whatever, like the record. I'm not, I've always, when we started sampling, that would be 88 to 89, Headless Children, because Randy was gone and whatever the choruses had to have, whatever. People didn't understand W.A.S.P was doing it then. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. I hated playing Wild Child on the second tour, and they'd run the tape machine with parrots going rock, rock. I hated that because it's not real. It's not from the heart. It's not real. It's not what you're doing on stage. I was against it. But anyway, it's just like when we were mixing the first album, I sat and screamed about, hey, the guitars suck. They're not loud. They're not in your face. And they turn around and go, shut up, Chris. And I know that's where I learned it doesn't work when you fight. It just gets worse when you fight with the producers or whatever. They're just going to do what they want to do behind your back anyway, So anyway, yeah. About Blackie playing the first album, whatever. Hey, more power to him. Go for it. I don't really,
It's good attitude. Good attitude.
Yeah.
You know what? When I interviewed him, also, I think it was like 6 months ago, I asked him, he goes he's going to do something special in regards to the debut album. And I think I asked, and again, don't quote me here, but I think I asked, are you going to reissue it? Are you going to remaster it? He goes, no, something different. And don't quote me on this, but I think he was hinting at re-recording the first album. He did re-record the Crimson Idol, and he's gonna. I mean, how does that make you feel about re-recording the debut album? I'm not saying he's doing it. I'm just saying he was hinting at it, but I don't know if it's true or not. So,
well, recording is a lot different the way you record nowadays.
Yeah,
compared to the way it was in '84. It's a completely different way with digital. Versus sitting there waiting for the machine, rewind. I love it nowadays. Just rewind, beep, and you rewound. But anyway, it's a completely different ball game recording. So it's maybe he could catch the magic that first one had. It's I don't know. So maybe who knows? Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see.
Right. And again, I'm not saying he will do this. I'm just saying that it kind of sounded like he was doing this, and I'm not confirming anything or denying.
Well, because you don't sell records anymore, I don't think he'd do it because there's no money in it for him.
Are you working on any new music?
Yeah, I've been working on it, but I send it's all in the process right now. As long as my computer stays on. I've been having a few issues with it, but that's okay. If I had money, I'd have a better computer, but so I just it's all right.
So
no biggie.
Are you looking to do another album, or you just said
yeah?
Okay, good.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I just got to put the whole concept together of what I want to do and get all the stuff here and there, Okay. I've been mainly in the last month working on doing these up and coming W.A.S.P thing, because there's a lot of songs I haven't played for 40 years.
Which song haven't you played? Which song, like an example?
The Torture Never Stops.
Okay.
There's a few of the others I haven't played. I've played the Headless Children a few times. 9-5 Nasty, I think I played a few times, but this time I really listened to everything I needed to learn. The Torture Never Stops. What's the other one? I'm a liar, I'm a chief, I got no morals, got a thief. Tormentor? No. Tormentor, yeah. The Torture Never Stops, Tormentor, yeah. And then I go from On Your Knees right into Hellion, and I was they're almost the same song.
Same key? Is that what you're saying? Same key?
It's same. No, they're different keys. One's an E, one's an A, but it's almost like the same. Maybe it's because I played them so much, you know. It's probably that. Probably that. What I got is I got the songs on a little recorder, and I can downstairs I can just turn it on and it'll run through all 10 songs. I don't have to touch nothing, and I can play my guitar with it. So maybe that's what it is, you know, played them so much, you know. But yeah,
I remember you telling me that you were thinking of the idea of just being one guitarist on your solo band. Like, I mean, is that something you're serious about, or maybe
it's something I'm serious about, but it's something I'm gonna try. You know, yeah, I playing with another guitar player. They say it's all fine, you know, and this and that, but you know, the last guy I had, I heard him talking to the drummer, and he goes, man, you know when Chris and I were changing back to solos in Bryne, Texas? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, well, I was over doing my solo, and I looked out in the audience. Everybody's looking at Chris. Well, it's my band. You know, and he was all like jealous of that. Get the fuck out of here. I'm tired of that shit. I'm just tired of it. You know, I can't find somebody that plays to play. You know, like Randy was never that way. We got along. We knew where to step on whatever, you know. You have your own whatever, but it's, you know, and I've had problems with guys, you know, like that. God, I was doing my solo. I looked out in the audience. They're looking at Chris. Well, yeah, because it's the Mean Man band. It's not, you know, you should realize that. So I'm sick and tired of putting up with that shit. If besides W.A.S.P, every band I've ever been in mostly was I played with Stonebreed. They were a 2 guitar player band, but all my other bands were all 1 guitar player, like Sabbath, The Who, Led Zeppelin, you know, Van Halen, everybody. It's been a kind of sound I like, you know, and I've in America I might try that. I think so, you know. Plus, it's one less asshole you got to put up with. Well, unless you bring in a singer, and I'd bring in. I'm going to think, you know, thinking about having somebody sing. Well,
I mean, you could get a singer who could also play a little guitar where it's needed, right?
Pain in the ass and drag. I just rather have them sing. You know, you just change the songs around that you need a 2 guitar player song to make it so it works with one, and that's good. You know, this makes a song different. I always love to go see a band, and they don't sound exactly like the record. They play the parts a lot different. I always love that, man. I don't want to hate. It's you know, it's one thing I couldn't stand about W.A.S.P. Everything had to sound like the record.
Did they ever really dock you? Did you ever get docked for it?
Oh yeah, for playing a different solo. Oh yeah, $500.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, what do they come up and they write up a little ticket for you and they go, here you go, or they just take it out of your bank?
Out of my pay, you know.
Crazy.
It'll straighten you up pretty fast, you know.
I don't know. I mean, did you have like a contract that said you had to play it every note for note? I mean, how can somebody even dock you for something like that? That's crazy.
You gotta be in the situation, you know.
Yeah.
But it's the way it is.
Jim Harrison asks, are there any new bands that you're into these days?
Ask Jim, like, what does he mean new bands that are like guys that are 30, 20?
I don't know. I guess bands that you just discovered. I don't know. It could be any age.
Tell him I don't really look on the internet, and I don't listen to new stuff. It doesn't. There's nothing new that really turns my wheels. There was a band that opened for us last year in London that I liked, but I don't know if they have a record. I even forget their name. Oh God. They were killer. I liked a few of their songs, man. I'd listen to them backstage. it's a hard question for me to answer because I don't really look at the newer stuff. It's just, to me, it bores me.
Okay, Benjamin says, what bands have you been listening to this week then? How's that? What have you listened to this week? Or last week, we'll say, because last week.
Mostly the Lyceum songs. With
the exception of W.A.S.P. What have you been listening?
I listened to some Hendrix. Okay. Johnny Mountain. I listen to Mountain. I got a stereo. Then when I go barbecue, I put it on Mountain. I love Mountain. I love Leslie West, the way he plays. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's telling us mostly stuff from the 71 to 72. That's what I listen to.
And you stopped right there, right? And you stopped in the.
I got a bunch of Mountain stuff. I did discover a song called Nostradamus by Judas Priest. That I love. Okay. I don't know what year they wrote that. I think it was 2008. I think it was. I got a funny story. So about maybe 3 months ago, Priest played in Paris, right?
Yeah.
4 months ago, and I go to the show, and Andy
Sneap.
Yeah, the guitar player. He invited me. Really cool guy. Love him. Great guy. And funny. And then I'm sitting backstage, and the drummer, right? He comes walking up, and he's singing. I Want to Be Somebody. And I go, oh. And then he kind of stands right in front of me, holds his hand out, and goes, dude, I gotta get a selfie with the Mean Man. I go, sure, man. I stand up, and he screams real loud. He goes, holy shit. I looked at him, he goes, somebody my size, this is great. I go, yeah, fuck all these short people under 6 feet, huh? And the guy, he's like 6'7". He's taller than me.
Scott Travis. Yeah.
He was like, holy shit, this is cool. Somebody my size. I started laughing.
You're a big guy. How old are you? How tall are you? Sorry, 6'5"?
When I was 18, I used to be 6'6". I couldn't tell you. I haven't been. I think they measured me when I was going through the cancer, but I couldn't tell you that's in meters.
I can tell you what meters are. Yeah.
I weigh 90. I weigh 95 kilos right now.
I don't even know what that is. How many pounds that is? I have no idea.
Well, not 1 kilo is 2.2 pounds.
So I know 200 pounds.
I know that. I know that from selling dope. A kilo is 2.2. That's how I got a lot of my equipment when I was younger. I used to sell a lot of dope in high school. Or pot or marijuana. If you want to call marijuana dope, it's not like I was selling heroin,
But again, so I'll say
check this out. A guy at my mom's work. My mom had a VW Bug.
Yep.
Right. And her boss would call me up and go, Chris, can you unload 10 pounds of Mexican weed? I'd go, yeah, and he'd give it to me really cheap. And he'd take like 5 kilos, which is 10 pounds, right? And when my mom and go out and stash it in the back behind the back seat of the VW over the motor, right? Put it back there, and then she'd drive it home, right? Not know it, and I'd go out and pull it out of the car, after she'd come in the house. I did that probably 20, 30 times. Her boss. My mom was driving pot home, didn't even know it. That's funny.
Mark Stubb says, is there any Northern Ireland dates? I know you've done some Northern Ireland dates in the past.
No. Tell them because right now between the first 2 times we went to Ireland and the last time, it's twice as much to get on the ferry now for us. Yeah, it's twice as much to get on the ferry. So we played Westport, Dublin, and a few other places, but then it's for us to actually do it, we can't even. It's feasibly, it's not. We can't afford it. I mean, I'd go out and play usually and come home and get a penny, but now if it's costing me money, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah. Well, of course, you got to eat.
but tell him I do plan on going to Ireland next year. Definitely next year.
Jim Harrison wants to know again, what's your favorite Judas Priest album, if you have one?
I like Defenders of the Faith.
Yeah, classic.
You know,
classic.
But I do love that Nostradamus song. You know, but there's a lot of songs on there, that album, that are weird, but that one riff is fucking one of the heaviest riffs I've ever heard. Nostradamus, man. It's bitchin' riff. And then you know what? At the Judas Priest show, fucking a trip. All of a sudden, Glenn comes to Tipton. He played, you know, and he came down, and he come walking up to me. You know, he's real frail, like, you know, he's got that. Is it Parkinson's disease?
Yeah,
Same thing Michael J.
right.
Fox got.
Yeah, yeah.
And he said he had his hand on. He goes, hey, Chris. He stuck his hand out, shook my hand, and I go, hey, Glenn, what's up? You know, and he. Nothing. I pulled him aside. I go, hey, Glenn, I'm sure you heard that I went through throat cancer a year and a half, 2 years ago. And he goes, yeah. I go, you know, we're a lot older now. Both of us got a shitty deal on the disease things. I go, but you know what matters the most is we're both standing right now. Yeah. And he goes, you know.
When's the last time you saw Glenn Tipton?
It was then. Before that,
yeah.
Was in LA somewhere at a bar a long time ago at a bar in the valley. I couldn't even tell you the name of it. It was by this hotels that, oh God, I couldn't remember the name of the place that all the rock stars stay at. It was there, you know. But yeah, it was sad. But you know, nobody lives forever. Nobody, who knows when you're gonna go? Look, Benelli's gone, Riley's gone. You know, so it's just, you know, it's sad that Glenn's still going, but he can't play. He can kind of play, but he can't play the way he's used to play. You know, that's what's sad.
Yeah. It is sad. I don't know. It's very sad.
I don't know if he could stand on stage that long either. You know, in this condition he's in. You know, because his hands, he was shaking a little. Sad. You know?
Yep.
But anyway, what's sad is Benelli. That's sad.
Yeah, Frankie Benelli, what a drummer. What a friggin' drummer.
You can't hear no more. You know, that's sad. You know, but anyway, yeah, life goes on. Life goes on.
Yeah, until we gotta just, you know, don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted and keep going, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
That's good. So what else you got? What else you got cooking? Anything else going on?
There's a few things my wife has been talking about next year, but I can't. She doesn't want me to talk about this. Kind of cool about, instead of just doing the Mean Man Band, a few other things. Yeah, and you know, I can't wait to get out of here, man. It's hot. It's hot. I want to go. I want to go. Oh yeah, I want to go north. You know, we gotta get in a car next week and go to Calais. That's 10 hours, 12 hours, and then our drummer comes over from Calais. He goes to Channel or whatever, the ferries. Then we meet up, and then we'll go to Sweden from there. That's another, I don't know, 18 hours drive or whatever. You know.
Yeah. You were in Scandinavia not too long ago, right? You had a small tour there, or is this the one that was postponed and you're redoing? I don't remember.
We were there last year.
Okay.
We were there last almost August. Last August, I did some shows there, and then last year, about this time last year, I did a festival up there.
What did you notice different about the Norwegian people, or let's say the Scandinavian people, versus, let's say, the American folk fans?
There's not too much, you know, the rock and roll fans, they're all the same. Mm-hmm. They're all the same.
They're taller there. I think they're taller people in general.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. There's and plus in Sweden, in Europe, there's more men at the show, more guys, you know, that are into heavy metal music, and in the States, there's more 50-50 of girls and guys, you know. It's more of a guy thing here in Europe, you know.
Yeah. All right, so that's cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then okay, again, we'll say the Scandinavian August 23rd to August 31st in Norway and Sweden. I put the dates in the link, or sorry, in the description of this video. The UK tour is November 7th to 30th, which includes the Wings of Angels Festival in Swindon, England. Sort of a tribute to Steve Grimmett of Grim Reaper, who passed away. I think it's been 2 years now. I could be wrong, but a great singer, one of the best singers, in the 80s, especially in the 80s.
Oh,
A
yeah.
friend. I know he's a friend to you, he's a friend to me, and it's sad, but this is a great tribute for him. That's pretty much it, Chris, unless you have anything else you want to talk about.
No. Well,
I was just in Minnesota. It's really cool over there. It was like 17 degrees, which is probably, let's say, in the 50s in Fahrenheit over there. So it wasn't scorching hot at all.
But were you at a high altitude?
Yeah, northern Minnesota. So you're talking about,
okay, you're in the Rockies, kind of, right?
I wouldn't say Rockies, but I would say north of Minnesota. Let's say near Duluth, if you know where that is.
You're not at ocean level. Oh, you're at over 1,000 feet. The higher you get, the colder it gets.
I guess that's probably what it is. I'm not sure 100%, but I would think, maybe. Yeah.
But in 6 months, it'll be cold.
6 months, it'll be very cold.
And you'll wish it will be hot then.
In Montreal, I got to say, it's been very humid. It's been a very humid summer.
Oh, that sucks when it's humid because it's hard to cool down in the humidity.
Yeah.
Yeah. When was I? I was there 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Crazy. Time flies, man.
Yeah. Time flies.
And last year I was with you in London.
Yeah.
And that was a year ago. It was crazy. Right. It was this time. Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Did you go to Paris? Were you supposed to?
Yeah, I did go to Paris last year.
Did you watch the opening? Did you watch the Olympics opening?
Well, I didn't go to Paris this year, but I did see the opening. Yeah, that was a big.
That was a trip where they all went down the river in the boats, huh?
That was pretty cool. They're going down the river on the. I thought that was
It was a lot different than just walking into a stadium with everybody holding their flags. I kind of liked it,
I liked it too. I thought that was cool. I mean, there was a whole big controversy with the opening sequences, but anyways, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah,
but it was cool to see everybody going down the river, all the different countries, and I thought that was cool.
Right.
I know you're nowhere near Paris, but
no,
Gojira, they're like the metal band representing heavy metal at the Olympics, which is really cool.
What was their name?
Gojira. They were the metal band that was
Gojira.
Gojira, yeah, Gojira.
What is that?
I think it's supposed to be something like Godzilla, but Gojira. Gojira. That was the metal band at the opening ceremonies.
Yeah. But I didn't know. The TV's on here, and it's not coming out in English.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't know who was playing. I don't even know. I could tell when Lady Gaga sang and then Celine Dion sang at the end because I know them, but I don't know what they were saying.
Yeah.
I haven't even watched the Olympics because I can't get it in English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna say I refuse to speak French. I'm just hard for me to learn it. I've been here 10 years. I don't speak French at all.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you know a few words. No, bonjour. No.
I know that. Yeah. Who doesn't know that? Who doesn't? I mean, they even know that in Morocco. Everybody knows what bonjour means. I always say boner. Boner.
The older we get, the harder it is to pick up another language too, right?
Well, I've never been. I got a 4th grade reading ability because I have dyslexia, so I should be able to pick it up, but I can't. It's just too hard, And anyway, I work in English. Yeah. Why would I want to speak? Work whatever. Yeah.
Do you ever think about moving back to the States?
Soon, someday.
Yeah.
Someday, yeah. I'm gonna move to Wyoming. Where I fit in.
Yeah. I remember you left. Now it's been what, 15 years?
It's been 10.
10 years you left, and you said, the music industry is done in the US, or, it's kind of not what it was. And now you went to Europe.
Yeah.
You find now that in Europe, it's kind of like cooling down and the US is picking up, or
no?
What do you think? No,
it's not. It's the big bands will always be able to tour, Iron Maiden, whatever, Bob. But for any smaller band, no, it's just gotten harder. It's gotten harder here too. The big thing here is now kind of is tribute bands.
Yeah,
tribute. My friend plays in a Rammstein tribute band, and they're almost sold out wherever they play. It's weird, So
yeah. Do you see any W.A.S.P tribute bands come your way?
No. That'd be funny. There's a few of them. There's one called Electric Circus, and it's another one. And there's one with somebody gave me a pick. It's W.A.S.Z instead of P. WABS or whatever. But
So you originally left the U.S. I remember this. You left the U.S. saying, you know what? It's just this music is just not what it is in the U.S. anymore. They don't play it on the radio as much. They don't support it.
They don't play it on the radio at all.
At all.
At all.
Do they play heavy metal in France or in Europe on the radio?
On the radio?
Yeah.
I don't listen to the radio here, so I couldn't tell you.
But you know what? I guess if the clubs were full, then it would mean that there's more playing on the radio and the TV. So I guess it's not, I would think.
Yeah. Well, here in the south of France, heavy metal isn't that big. Heavy metal bands don't come through here, They play maybe Marseille or Lyon. That's about it. Priest came through. Priest played Paris and Lyon. They don't play. Motley Crue played Monaco, but that was 2015. That was 9 years ago.
I have a message from Clifford Hertz. He goes, "Hey Chris, my dad, who just turned 80 and is retired veteran, came across your, I think, documentary, and you really enjoyed your story." So that's from Clifford.
His dad.
His dad, who just turned 80. So I mean, let's say you're 66. When you were in your 20s,
he's only 14 years older than me.
Yeah,
it's not that old.
No, it's not today. It's not that old. So that's a nice message. So your documentary, people could still pick that up. It's a really fun documentary to watch. Ever think of doing another one?
No. I'd do one. I'd like to do a documentary of being on the road just to show all the shit that goes on, But I don't know.
Coming back to America, that would be a good documentary.
Well, it depends on if I do any shows there that are worth it's filming, I don't know. We're gonna play next year. I'm gonna come and do some shows after I play on the boat. So I don't know. It's kind of up in the air to see how it goes. Whatever,
Jay is saying, Jay is saying, I saw Steve Unger's Elvis tribute band last night.
Oh, cool.
Holland is drumming. Have you ever seen Steve's Alive 85? I don't know what Steve's Alive 85. What's Steve's Alive 85?
No. He does an Elvis. He dresses up like Elvis Presley and does Elvis songs. Heavy. I don't know if it's heavy metal or whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And AP saying, "Hey, Chris, American guy living in Lyon. How long have you lived in France?" Well, I think you just said it before, right?
Did he say Lyon?
Lyon, yeah. He's an American guy living in Lyon.
He's the American guy in Lyon.
Yeah, in Lyon, yeah. How long have you lived in France? You're in Canes, right?
I've been here 10 years.
10 years.
I've been in the south to Nice. Well, I first moved to Finland. That didn't work out. And then it was 2015, I moved it. So it's been 9 years since I've lived here for 9 years. Yeah.
Okay. What do you miss most about America?
What do I miss? Well, I don't miss the cops. That's what I hated the most in LA. They fucking would follow me every time I got in my car. I'd get pulled over looking for drugs. I mean, I choose to look the way I do. I don't wear a suit and tie. I look like an old refugee from the 60s or a drug addict, but I've got sick and tired of cops harassing me about, drugs and this and that. Fuck you. I'm tired of it. I haven't been bothered by a cop for 10 years here. It's been bitching. It's been worth it. Just in that aspect. Brag being a white guy sometimes in LA. Everybody looks down at you. That's not white, you know.
Well, let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Oh, yeah.
Jay Santiago says, I saw W.A.S.P open for Kiss during the Asylum tour in Chicago.
Long time ago. Jay, you're that old?
Blackie was a jag. Chris was so cool. A drag. I would think he's saying drag, not a drag. I don't know what a jag is. I don't know, unless it's some sort of. So he saw you open up for Kiss. How was it like touring with Kiss? It was on. They had no makeup on back then. Was it cool?
You mean being around them?
Yeah, hanging out with them.
No,
on tour. No.
Gene and Paul. I can't stand those guys.
Okay.
They are what my mom brought me up to not be.
Okay.
All
right. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
The reason why W.A.S.P beat up on Kiss was because of Chris here. Nobody else. Because I ran the sound with the sound guy.
Mm-hmm.
And when we first went out on tour, I was told we couldn't get no subs and only 80% of the PA. I said, I'm not going to tour like that. You know, find another guitar player to just, you know, because you can't beat up on them. And then finally the deal was, if we could have 2 lines of merchandising, then we get full sub and full 100% of the PA. We'd have our own mixing board. But then I said, yeah, I'll do it then. But I wasn't then. A big hassle in the management. Blackie said, you know, I said, I'm not doing it because you'll sound like crap. And believe me, the first 2 weeks, our merchandising, we didn't put out 2 lines. They put out every bit they could, and we were doing 2 to 1 on them. And then Gene and Paul found that out, boy. And I come into sound check. My roadie goes, Chris, our gear will not get on the stage till the doors are open. I'm like, so we don't sound check? He goes, no. And I go, that's all right. We'll still. We had all of the safeguards, you know. The PA guy and we had it all worked out, you know, good. So anyway, it's just the way it's business. That's business. If they can, the more they can hold you down, the more the better. And you know, touring and playing arenas, this big business selling shirts.
It is.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Mike is saying, is Headless Children your favorite W.A.S.P album?
Yeah. Because I played guitar on there the way I wanted to play guitar. Okay. And the guitar sound, that's what I wanted a guitar to sound like. I wanted to sound like that on the first album, you know, but it's, you know, and plus I was the only guitar player on the Headless Children. So, you know.
Yeah. And that's a good point too, right? I mean, that's what we were talking about before, being that one guitarist, right? You get to really dig in, right? You really get to dig in.
Well, it's just, you know, and plus the producer, Max Norman, was producing it at first, you know, then somebody made sure they got in a fight with Max, so he'd walk out, boom, he was gone, you know, then they could put their name as producers. It's just a business. It's the way the business is, you know. You work with people with their heads like this, don't even fit in the door. I'm just glad I don't have to live around somebody like that anymore. I'm happy.
Randy's saying, I saw you guys open up for Crocus. What was it like? Do you remember playing with Crocus? Did they give you?
Yeah.
Did they open, or was it? You were opening for them, right?
We were in the middle, and one of a band that's from your neck of the woods called Helix.
Yes, Helix. Yeah.
They were opening, and we were in the middle, and then Crocus. Crocus guys were fine, man. I got no problems with them. I didn't really talk to them that much, you know. It was like we were young, and we were out to beat up on everybody we could, sound better and have more energy and kill everybody, you know.
I remember Blackie's telling me that, you know, you guys toured so hard for 3 albums, you know, tour album, that you didn't even know where you were at one point. You know, he said, I don't even know what the date was. He walked into a bank. He didn't even know what date to write on his, you know, his check or whatever.
Why should you care? Why?
I guess because he was so busy, right?
Who gives a shit what date it is? Who cares? What do you know? I used to throw my itinerary right in the trash and just go. When are we gonna be back? In 2 months? All right, just go with the program. You know, what do you care about what date it is unless you got to go to prison or whatever, you know? Right? In those days, I was told a lot of things, you know, and I believed a lot of things that I was told, and it's just, you know, I in the early days I burned the candle at both ends and in the middle, and that's just the way rock and roll was to me. What a rock star, you know. So there's a lot of things I don't remember. I don't really care. I know I had a good time.
Chris, do you have any Cliff Burton stories? That's from Jay.
Yeah, I do have one. It's not about leaving Cliff at the border. One time we were sitting there getting. Cliff wore bell bottoms, you know, and like the old California keep on trucking boots, bell bottoms. And I told him, I go, hey, Cliff, man, you need to take them bell bottoms and cut bangs in your hair. And he looked at me and he goes, dude, it's just the way I am. And it was cool, you know. I love the Metallica guys. I had a good time with them. They treated me no better, no worse, right at the same level. And it's bitching when you're with people like that. They all did. It's when we were in Sweden last year, going down the highway, we go, hey man, stop to the next place we can to eat.
Yes.
Pull off the road, boom, right in front of us, a Cliff Burton museum.
Yeah, that's where he had a crash around there.
Right down the street. And I was like, whoa, I never knew they made it. Well, I went in, paid $10, went inside, and I looked around, and, this first time I ever seen a picture of what the bus looked like. Wow. You know, and I've talked to James, because I've known the guys when Cliff was in the band. I was good friends with them then. I saw him in London 2 weeks before they went up to that tour or whatever. I saw the crash and saw what happened with the bus. The buses those days, that when you can't get a really, really good tour bus, they take an old bus with windows that, go down a regular bus, and they pull out the seats and they bolt in bunks. And you like, if they have 3 bunks high, the top bunk and the middle bunk, you can open the curtain, look right out the window. There's a glass window there. It's not metal, like on the American tour buses, And that's what happened. He went through the window when it went sideways, rolled over, man. Yeah, Cliff was a cool guy, but that's the story. He goes, man, it's just me, dude. Fuck. We got drunk and hammered and beat each other up. It was great, man.
You know what? It's I don't even know how they survive something like that. I guess you just got to keep going, right? Like that's traumatic. The crash is traumatic. I mean, that would take. That's a traumatic thing to go through.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It would. Yeah. It would be. Yeah. As close as they were, he would still be in the band. They did. That's one thing I give Metallica credit for. They haven't switched members with the bass players, but it's still, that's why they are where they're at today, because it's the same members.
Yeah.
You know why the Who was so big?
They're 4 guys.
The same members.
The exception of Moon, but he died, right? Keith Moon, he died. You have to.
Yeah. But they don't change members like unless you're Elvis Presley, but that's why Metallica is where they're at,
Yeah. Yeah. And Rush too, they didn't change members. They just stayed the same. And there's a sort of credibility when you keep the same guys, right? There's a sort of sense of, and the fans could feel it, right? Today, what do you think about all these bands? They're like thousands of members, like Foreigner goes on stage. It's like, who the heck's in this band anymore? Who was part of the, the early legacy?
Well, I went and saw Foreigner, and the songs that they wrote are so good. It kind of, what's his name came out and played guitar a few songs. I forget his name, the original guy. He didn't play the whole time, but he played a few songs. And he looked way older than the other guys.
Yeah.
It's like me playing with the young kids in England. You know, they're in their 30s and I'm in my 60s. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Foreigner songs are so good, and I grew up with them on the radio, so it didn't matter to me.
Yeah,
You know?
I saw them too, and maybe that's a bad example where the songs are more powerful than each individual player, right?
Oh
It's
man,
like,
Jukebox Hero.
oh,
I
incredible.
mean, I went on to Know What Love Is. Those are you don't write better songs than that. You don't.
Yeah, Lou Gramm, what a voice! I mean, he's still out there touring
Yeah,
too. I mean,
yeah.
Mick
Maybe he's not.
Jones, Mick Jones. That's who we were
Mick
thinking.
Jones was the guy I saw in the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lou Gramm's still out doing shows. You know, he just doesn't tour like they do, Foreigner. You know, but who knows? You know, but once I'd like to see what happens when Kiss goes back out without Gene and Paul. What are they going to do?
Yeah, are they going to do it? Are they going to pull that off? Do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it might be them, might not be them. Who knows? You know, I went to see Johnny Depp's play at the what's their club that he had? The Viper Room. Okay.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp was supposed to play. This was years ago, and the guy came out and played guitar, and he had a mask on, full mask.
Really?
You know, and you could see his eyes. That was it. I was like, how'd you know if this is Johnny Depp or not? I don't think it was, but that's what Kiss. That's what Kiss is probably going to do. You know, I don't know.
Well, they probably get away with it too. I mean, people have been following them throughout their whole career. I think I personally, it's not for me, but maybe it'll be like Cirque du Soleil, or it'll be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Brian Tishy and I are really close friends, and he's out playing with Gene. You know, the Gene Simmons band.
Gene Simmons band.
Yeah. You know, they've written some good songs that'll still keep sustaining their. You know.
What about Ace? What do you think of Ace?
Ace is Ace. Ace is cool. I love Ace. He's great, man. Ace is Ace. He's been doing it on his own for a long time. He'll keep doing it.
I think he's a lot like you, you know?
Ace?
Yeah, I think he's a lot like you. There's a lot of similarities there. You know, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the solos how I want to play them, and my band's going to be the way it's going to be, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? And he's got a sense of humor, and you've got a sense of humor. You guys are very similar, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And he I don't want to say, and he hates his band members. I don't say that.
All right, let's not.
Him and his band members don't get along. Maybe that's.
I don't know. I don't want to say nothing bad. I don't want to say.
Yeah. I'm not. All right. As Blackie doing the first album and shit, I hope the best for him. As him, he's going to go out on tour and play the first album all to his contests. I hope it's going to be. He's going to scream the whole time because that's album. I hope he can do it, and I hope the people enjoy it. That's all I can say. I'm sick and tired of trash talking the guy. Even though I have my
good. That's good.
Yeah, I'm just sick of it. So whatever. Yeah.
Good. All right. So I'm going to end off with the tour dates once again. All right. So you get to see Chris Holmes in Scandinavia, August 23rd, all the way to August 31st. And there's his finger right there. That's
I was just seeing where the camera was. And
yes,
watch this Frank Zappa thing. It's exactly how I look at playing guitar. Exactly, man.
I'll put the link in the video description. The UK tour, London, Cart and Horses, the birthplace of Iron Maiden. Actually, when I was in London last year, I did not make it there. I wanted to go there. I did not make it there. It was just a timing issue. So November 7th to November 30th, you'll be doing some UK dates. London, Wales, Edinburgh, if I pronounce it right, Swindon, which is the Wings of Angels Festival, Planet Rock Fest. So if you're in the London area or in the England area or the UK area, whatever you want to call it, go see them. And then the Monsters of Rock Cruise, March 2025. That's going to be fun. You had a great time last time, right?
I had probably one of the best times I've ever had in my life playing. I'll put it this way, and not playing or whatever on that cruise. I had the funnest time of my life on there.
Because you got to reconnect, right? You got to reconnect with so many people.
I've never been on a cruise ship, first of all.
Oh, yeah.
And all the people that work on the cruise ship, there are a lot of them are they're Indians from the Middle East, not the Middle East, but from Malaysia.
Yeah.
The people that came and served us food, the coolest people, had great sense of humor, funny as crap. I mean, I know if they don't get along with the people that are on the boat, then they throw them off right away. But most of them were great, and everybody worked on the boat. Everybody treated me like I was a king, treated me bitching on the boat. I had the best time, and seen a lot of my friends. I got some guys that play with Shanker that are real close friends of mine, and seen a few of the old friends, like George Lynch, Steve Piercy. Just some friends of mine. It's good.
Doro was there, I think. Who else was there?
Saw
Doro was there. Aaron was there. There was a lot of people there.
And Tesla
was there. Oh,
they're from where are they? Where are they from?
California. Yeah,
right where I'm from.
Yeah,
right where I'm.
Look at this right here. Look, there it is. The
California,
bear.
The bear.
California Republic. Yep. Look at that. Last question from Tanvir, all the way in London. He's not in London now, but he lives in London. He's going to go see your show.
Okay.
Does he have any recollections of the Monster of Rock Donington in 1987?
Yeah.
Monsters of Rock Donington, 1987. What was the gig like?
Well, I was up on the stage before I got I used to be able to get my stage clothes on within 5 minutes, makeup and all, and go. So I was up on stage watching Cinderella and looking at the crowd, off the side, going, "Whoa, man, this is cool! One of the biggest places I ever played at that time." And I think one of the roadies, Chris, you got to get in the blah dress. But anyway, so I'm walking to the stage from the dressing rooms. It's a bit of a walk, and it starts drizzling, raining.
Mm-hmm.
Walk up on the stage, and it starts fucking pouring. Cats and dogs, raining. Yeah. Cats and dogs, elephants, and whatever come down. A lot of rain. The stage had this much water on it. It was a lot. And it poured the whole time we were on stage. And then what was supposed to go on, someday I'll tell you what was going to happen. We had the stage set up to burn. Blackie was going to shoot a flare gun into the cabinets, and they had gas in them, whatever. So, but he didn't. He chickened out. When I walked off the stage, last song, that's where I broke my yellow guitar. The part that's missing broke off. Mm-hmm. Walked off stage. It stopped raining, and right when I was going to the dressing room, the clouds parted and the sun came through, and I was like, "It only rained on us, man." Just us. Some good luck, Yeah, and then that's what I remember. And then I just remember the drummer we had was a
87. Who was it? Was it Riley?
No, this guy named Kelly Martinelli was his name. He was just there for the one show. Riley we were mixing the live album, and Riley got fired, from that. But this guy, Kelly Martinelli, came in, and he was just more of a fucking hassle, and, ego. He had an ego, real worse than worse than the singer did. Way worse. No, not that bad. Not worse. But some people have big egos, but they have big shoes to fill, and they can have an ego that big. Nobody backs them. But anyway, yeah, I remember that. And I had a good time. I remember walking into Metallica's dressing room, and because ours didn't have any there was no booze in it, and after us was Anthrax, I think, and then Metallica. And I can remember walking in. I go, "Hey, James." No, it was Lars. I go, they had their tour manager named Bobby Snyder. I remember his name. I go, hey, whose bottle of vodka is that? He goes, that's Snyder's. And I grabbed it. I go, tell Bobby thanks. And I split. It's a bottle of Stolies. We're taking that.
I don't know if you want to answer this question or not. Christopher James says, yourself, Chris Holmes, you really ought to reach out to Blackie because now you're all older, wiser. Forgive and forget. You guys would do very well. I don't know. If you want to answer that, answer that. If you don't want to answer it, because I know you've answered it so many times.
No,
so,
no,
yeah.
It's not.
Christopher, I'm going to recommend to you, go back a couple interviews. He's answered all these questions so many times.
Yeah, it's not worth it to me.
Yeah.
It's like your brother. It's worse than your brother fucking your wife and then lying to you.
Yeah.
You know.
But let's stay on a positive note. Let's stay on a positive note, and let's not. All right, man. Yeah. Have yourself a wonderful day. Thanks for being on the show. Appreciate you taking all the questions for all the fans out there.
Yeah.
And cool. UK, there's got some great shows coming up. It's all in the description of the video. Have yourself a wonderful night there, Chris. Yeah.
Okay, it's going to be okay in the UK.
Okay in the UK. That's there you go. Title of the new song.
Yeah.
Our new album.
Cool.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Merry Christmas. See you later, Jimmy, and love you all. Goodbye.